Warm greetings, billionaires. This is Sejef again. Today we want to cover the network diagram, critical path analysis. So I want you to get ready so that we can kickstart. Okay. So this is, I think you are familiar with this diagram. Excuse me. I hope you are familiar that this is a typical paper 3 question. Taking it from a past paper. So I want to just clarify on a few things so that you can understand. But let me just go to the onset of this so that you can have an understanding of where we are coming from and where we are going. So let me just go to the start of this so that you can follow. Please have your pen, your notebook, so that we can kickstart together. So let me just go to the initial section of this one. And this is the initial section. Okay, so today we want to cover critical path, okay, CPA. Definition of key terms. What is a project? So we are saying critical path is mainly used in operations. It's a tool, it's a planning tool. So it's used in operations when we are running a project. So the question is, what is a project? A project, let me just have a pen here. Okay. A project is a specific and temporary activity. Something that is what? Specific, and something that is temporary. It's not permanent, right? And that activity should have a start date and an end date. That activity should have clear goals, and that activity should have a what? A budget. So we are saying, I'm running a project. What are you referring to? You are saying I have a specific and temporary activity which has a specific start date and a specific end date. I think that one is very clear. Other key terms that you will come across as we do this lesson, you will come across the term critical path. So critical path is the sequence, okay, the sequence of activities that must be completed on time for the whole project to be completed by the agreed date. Those are some of the key terms. A sequence of what? Activities that must be completed on time for the whole project to be completed by the agreed date. Obviously, we are running a project, or we have embarked on a project. Maybe we want to pave the car park. We agree with our client that we are going to do this for this period. So it must be completed by the agreed date so that we don't disappoint our client. I hope it's making sense. All right. So let's continue. Now from here, we move on to the next slide. We are going to come across such terms like free float. Okay. What is free float? Free float is the amount, let me come here again, is the amount of time. Free float is the amount of what? Time. An activity can be delayed. We have an activity, we can delay, let's say, excavation, maybe footing. We can delay some of these activities without it affecting the start of the next activity. I think you're getting that one. Free float is the amount of time an activity can be delayed without affecting the start of the next what? Activity. So we are saying, let's say we have got activity A, and activity B follows A. So in this case, we are saying we are looking at the amount of time that we can delay A without delaying the start of what? Of B. So if you calculate, you happen to find that the free float in this case is 8. The free float, you find that it's 8. It means that we can actually delay at the start of, we can actually delay activity A by how many days? 80 days, without delaying the start of what? Activity B. This is what we call a free float. The amount of time an activity can be delayed without affecting the start of the next activity. So we are saying the next activity, in this case, we are talking of what? B. So the amount of time that we can delay A, but without delaying the start of what? Of B. We call it a what? A free float. So what is the purpose of these free floats? A free float provides flexibility. It means you can play around with the 8 days. You are more flexible. In managing project activities, allowing adjustments, this allows what? Adjustment and changes without impacting the next what? Activity. So this is our flexibility. We are flexible. We can delay activity A with how many days? 8 days, without delaying the start of activity what? B. I think that one is loud and clear. Let me move on to the next aspect. Then we've got an issue of total float. I think the key term here is total. Okay, total float. This time around, we're talking of what? Total float. The amount of time in activity, again, can be delayed without, again, delaying the completion of the whole project. Wow, I think you are learning. The amount of time and activity can be delayed without affecting the project completion date. So we are saying the amount of time that we can delay A without delaying the overall duration of the project. Let's say we're running this project, wanted to complete it in 43, or let's say in 44 days. So on total float, we are saying by how many days, how many weeks can we delay activity A without delaying the completion of the whole project? That's what we call total float. The purpose of total float. Total float provides a buffer against an unexpected delays or issues, helping to mitigate the risk and ensure project completion on time. So if we calculate, we find that we have got total float, in this case, let's say, is 7. It means we can delay activity A without delaying the 44 day of completing the project. Let's move on, good people. According to Cambridge syllabus, we are expected to know the formulas again. They are not provided like in math. So let's understand the formula. Free float, these are two F's. We say if you want to calculate free float, you say the EST, the earliest start time of the next activity minus duration, EST of minus duration minus EST. You can actually see that two F's. It's a simple clue that we have got two ESTs. So this formula is easy to remember. You say FF free float is equal to EST of the next activity minus duration and minus the EST of the current activity. Total float, this is one is very simple. Total float is equal to the latest finishing time, which is LFT minus duration minus EST of that activity. Where we are referring to our EST, we are referring to the early start time or the early start time, and LFT, we are referring to the latest finish time, and D, we are referring to duration. So please, can you master the formula? We are going to be using the formulas. I hope I'm making some sense. So we are saying for free float, we are talking of the EST of the next activity minus duration minus the EST of the now activity. I hope it's making sense. Let's keep on moving. All the best, good people. I want you to do well in your exams. Let me just get into some key concepts when you are managing a project. These are 4 basic elements of project management. You are running a project, you're a project manager. You must be very particular on resources. Remember, resources are scarce. They are scarce. Scarcity is a concept that you should not ignore when you're doing a business. Resources are very much limited, but what we want is unlimited. So you need to be in a position to manage people and equipment. If you fail to manage the people and the equipment, you might fail to deliver the deliverables of the project. Also, you must be in a position to manage the time. So it means when you are supposed to strike a balance. Because if you employ these people for a longer period, you hire the machine for a longer period, it means it will cost you a lot. So you are supposed also to manage the what? The cost. Remember that we said a project should have a budget. So it means you must be kept on budget. They must be kept on what? On budget. It means you must be fighting to reduce, to minimize costs. Then at the end of the day, we are saying you must be in a position to cover the scope of the what? Of the project. We're saying the size of the project. If it's paving, you're supposed to pave the whole school, you're supposed to pave the whole driveway. It means you must meet that standard. All right. Let's move on to the next aspect that I want to concentrate on. Okay. I think I've covered this one. Just take a look on this one. Let me move on to another aspect. We have what we call a dummy activity. I think it's popular maybe in soccer, a dummy. You pretend to be doing something, maybe somebody passes a ball to you and you pretend to be kicking the ball, then you dummy it to somebody who is next to you, then you confuse your opponents. So a dummy activity is an artificial activity. No actual work is being done there. A dummy activity does not represent any actual work or task. Dummy activities typically have 0 duration. Please, the time that a dummy activity would take is 0. 0 days, 0 hours. So please remember that dummy activity have got how many? It consumes neither resources nor time. It's an artificial activity. There's no work that is taking place. Okay, what is the purpose of a dummy activity? Logical relationship. Dummy activities are used to establish logical relationship between activities. Dummy activities help to create a valid network diagram. At times we have got rules that we are supposed to follow when we're drawing this network diagrams. So a dummy activity is there to follow, to ensure that we follow the rules of drawing a network diagram. For example, we draw it from left to right. It must have one entrance and one exit. So I think that's a dummy activity. I'll show you on the question that I'm going to do that. All right. This is a past paper, Beehive 811. UBH is scheduled to open its new center, Beehive 811, very soon. The operations director prepared a network analysis at the start of the project and predicted. So you see the issue of estimates, all right, and predicted it would finish within Amit's deadline. So you see now, deadline of 45 days. Table 2 and Fig 1 provide details of the network analysis diagram. Okay, so I want you to understand the nitty-gritties here. Okay, this diagram, table 2, has activity here, details of activities, then it has preceding activities. I think this is a new term that we are supposed to remember. Then it has what? Duration, or in what? In days. Please, duration in what? In days. Is it making sense? So Let's look at this. There is activity A. Preceding, it means this is a prerequisite. Okay, let me just write a prerequisite. Okay, my pen, I forgot my stylus pen. So this must be done first. So this activity, a preceding activity, must be done first. So it means A is to be done without considering any activity. There is none here. B, activity B, it means activity A can start anytime, any day. Activity B is an activity, but it seems as if it is no preceding activity again. It means A and B can start at the same time, any day. Look at C, activity C, which is ordering and delivery of building materials. Activity A is supposed to be completed first, and activity B is supposed to be completed before we embark on activity what? C. It's making sense. It means in this case, we want to have a lease agreement with our landlord. We can't order building materials before we sign a lease agreement. We can't order material before we draft building plans. So it means in this case, preceding, it means A and B must be completed first for C to start. Let's try this one. This one means that activity C has to be done first. It's a preceding activity before we do activity D. Is it making sense? Try this one. It means what? Activity A and B must be done first. Well done. Before we do activity J. So look at this is initial marketing of the center. We want to market the center, but we can't market the center unless and until we have completed A and B, and A and B. A and B in this case is signing a lease agreement with the landlord and drafting the building plans. So we cannot start marketing a center that has no a lease agreement, that has no plan already done. Let's do K. K, it means K is the activity, but it's following the completion of completion of F. Look at this one. K takes how many days? 5 days. Look at this one. G, which is recruitment of employee, takes how many days? 24 days. You are a genius. Then activity E takes how many days? 10 days. You are a genius. Keep on going. I think this is simple. So let's move on to this is the background information. I think you can take a picture or pause the video, read the story so that you can actually have a look on it. Let me get to the question. Okay, look at the question. The project started 10 days ago. Excellent. The delivery of office equipment is delayed by 12 days. Delivery of office equipment, which is what? Delivery, order and delivery of building material, order and delivery of office equipment is activity E. Look at the situation that has happened. All right. The delivery of equipment is delayed by how many days? 12 days. They've delayed, which is activity what? E. It's been delayed, and it's normal. Activity E, let's look at activity E, is the order and delivery of office equipment, which follows activity A and B. Look at how it's following activity A and B. So E is following activity A and B. It's very clear. But don't worry. Let's look at Amit is concerned that any delay in opening would lead to a loss of income if prospective customers decide to go elsewhere. I hope you are getting the concept so far. All right, let's look into the issue. Let's look into the matter. I think we can dive deep into the question. Let's look at the question. Identify the minimum project duration assuming no delays. That's a very simple 1 mark. Cambridge is a very generous examination body. What's the answer? Excellent. We take 43. This is the minimum project duration according to their studies. They want it done, they will complete it in 43 days, but this one want it done in how many days? Let me check. This one want it done in how many days? 45 days. 45 days. So they seem to be very efficient. Fine, we get the 1 mark. Let's look into the question. This is the question they will ask you in the examination. Can you find the missing figure here? Find the missing figure here. So this is a tricky one. It's another 2 marks of the question. So one thing that I want you to try and remember is that we have got what we call a forward pass and a backward pass. When you are moving from left, a forward pass, F pass, I will just write F, a forward pass, it means, just imagine yourself playing soccer. A forward pass, we are moving from where? We are moving from left to right. Left to right, forgive my handwriting because of, we are moving from where? From left to right. Okay, somebody is disturbing me here. All right, so in this case, from left to right is a forward pass. So what we are going to do, you take the EST, this one is the EST, we call it EST. Sorry for the call. I'll call you very soon. Okay, sorry for that. EST, that's L start time, and LFT is this one, the latest finishing time. Let's do the forward pass. So in this case, we are going to say the EST plus duration, that's how we do the forward pass. So we are going to say 0, this is 0, we add plus duration, 5, 0 plus 5. What do we get? We are moving in this direction. It means we get the other EST, which is a what? Which is a 5, that is here. Then we take this 5, we add it to what? We add to 24, 5 plus 24. What do you think is the answer? It's 29. Well done. So we get the answer 29. Then you have 1 mark. Cambridge is generous. 1 mark for you. Let's continue with that forward pass. Look at the forward pass. We are going to say 29, right? Plus what? 29 plus 10. What do you get? We get 39. But here there is no 39. It becomes very tricky. You need to be listening now to the teacher very attentively. You keep the number. Right, let's take another path. We are taking this path. We say 0 plus B, duration of B. B needs 3 days. 0 plus 3, what do you get? 0 plus 3, you get 3. But here there's 5. It's now confusing, right? Right, I will give you the tip. But let's write for the meantime, let's just write the 3 here. Right, let's try this part. Okay, it's 0 plus, this is a dummy activity, so duration is equal to 0. So we say 5, this 5, we add 0, what do you get? We get 5. It's becoming tricky. There is 5, it means we're slightly happy, but let's check. How did they take 5? We got 3 in the certain path, we got 5 in the certain path, but we want to see again, do we have another path? We have just 2. So when you are doing a forward pass, always take the highest, okay? Take the highest figure. So in this case, we have got the 3 and 5. Which one is the highest figure? Is 5. So that's how they wrote 5. Excellent. Let's continue with the forward pass. We are saying 5 plus C. 5 plus C, in this case, it seems this is 5. I'm sorry, it's not very clear, but we can check. I think it's a 5, okay? You can actually see that this is a 5. So 5 plus 5, what do we get? We get this what? 10, okay? So you'd say 10, we are doing a forward pass. 10 plus what? 10, you say plus 20, what do you get? You get a 30. You are slightly happy now. All right, mass to the world. 30 plus 8, this is 8. Okay, 30 plus 8, what do you get? You get 38. 38. Excellent. 38 plus 5, what do you get? 43. And we have 43 and 49. So what do we write? We take the what? Every time when we're doing the forward pass, you take the highest. That's how they wrote 43. Excellent. Let's do the backward pass, but let me finish with this one. We had another path where we could say 5, which is our EST, right? 5. We want to add it to what? 5. We add it to what? We added 5 to 30. What do we get? We get 35. So we have got three figures that are converging at one point. So we compare 35 against 43 against 39. Which one is the bigger? That's how we got what? This one. Excellent. Let's now do the backward pass. This time around, I want to change this one. I want to go back to the previous picture so that I do the backward pass. I want to do the backward pass so that you see where these figures are coming from. Let's look at the backward pass. So let me try if I can get a different ink. Maybe it will also help. On a backward pass, let me go yellow. Okay, hope you love yellow. Right, we are doing a backward pass. So this one is a backward pass, but it's not clear for those who, okay, let me find purple, maybe, right? We want to do a backward pass. A lot of people are disturbing me. Try to, right, hold on, sorry. I'll call you, please. Thank you. All right. Let me switch off the phone. I think that's where disturbance are coming from. So you can do something as I switch off this funny thing. All right. Let's do a backward pass. This time around, we're doing a what? A backward pass. So I will just call it B pass. It's a backward pass, right? On a backward pass, we are now subtracting. Here, on a forward pass, we're adding. Now we are subtracting. So we start from the end. Backward pass, we are starting from the end. We say 43 minus 5. What do we get? 43 minus 5. That's 38. So we write what? So this is a minus 5. Okay, we get what? 38. So this is how they got the number below, which is our latest finishing time. Then we say 38 minus 8. What do you get? 38 minus 8. 38 minus 8. In this case, we get what? 30. That's how they got this what? This 30. Is it making some sense? Then we continue. It's a backward pass. We say 30 minus what? 30 minus what? 20. What you get is a subtraction because it's a backward pass. We're going back. Then 30 minus 20, what do we get? We get 10. This is how they got the 10. Let's move on. We now have 20, 10 minus 5. What do we get? 10 minus this 5. We subtract the duration, and then we get 5. That's how they got this 5. But this is not obvious because these there are two converging activities. So we need now to see the rule that works here. Okay, but please don't immediately run to write 5 when they are converging backwards. You write 5 below here. We write 5 here. So we want to see this part. If we had said 30, right, a backward pass, we say minus what? 10, 30 minus 10. What do we get? 30 minus 10. We still get what? 30 minus 10, we get 20. So here we get what? 20. So we are comparing between the two figures, 20 and 30. Which one is the bigger figure? Which one is the bigger figure? Is the lower figure. So a backward pass, we always take the lowest. Okay, on a backward pass, if they are converging, if there's an intersection, we take the lowest. That's how we wrote this 5. So this 5 qualifies because it's the lowest. Is it making sense? All right. Let's continue with the backward pass from this direction. Okay, this direction, we say 43 minus 43 minus 10, what do you get? 43 minus 10, we get what? 33. This is 33. Remember, last time we got what? 29. This is how we got the answer. All right. Let's continue with this one. We say 33 minus 24. Okay. 33 minus 24. Let's do the math. 33 minus 24. What do you get? 33 minus 24. You must have your calculator. We should not make mistakes in this case. Okay. 33 minus 24. I'm giving you time. Can you do that? What do you get? You get 9. Excellent. But why is it that here there is no 9? That's a bigger question, right? It's an activity where two things are converging. Please, can you listen twice here? We are saying 33 minus, okay, 33 minus 24, we get 6 plus 3, we get 9. So we are going to write 9. But you hold on, there is another activity. These activities are converging at A backwards, from backwards. So we are going to say 5 minus 0. 5 minus 0, because the duration here is 0, right? So we say 5 minus 0, and we have got 0 and 9. These are the two scenarios now that we have. 5 minus 5, this 5, please, minus 0, we get 5. We get 5. So we are going to compare 5 and what? 9. And always take the what? The lowest. So that's how they wrote this what? 5. Excellent. Then let's look at this one again. There are two activities. A and B are converging again. Let's look at them. How did they get this what? 0. Okay. Look at this one. We say 5 minus 3. We are going to say 5. Let me find another pen, maybe a red one, so that you can actually see, right? They are going to say 5 minus 5 minus, follow the red ink, minus 3. What do you get? 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3. Let's put the answer here. 5 minus 3. We get what? 2. Why is it that there is a 0 here? Is it this a mistake? No. Excellent. You are a genius. They are checking these two events are converging. So they are comparing 5. They are comparing this 5 minus 5. What do you get? We get a 0. So what is the rule for a backward pass? Always take the what? The lowest. Then this is our 0. I've done a backward pass, mass to the world. That's a world-class teaching that I'm providing here. So I hope it will assist you in examination. So few takeaways when you are doing a forward pass. A forward pass always add. When you are doing a backward pass, always what? Subtract. When we are doing a forward pass, always take the bigger number of the highest figure when they are intersections. When there is an intersection and you're doing a backward pass, what do? You take the lowest. Few takeaways. Simple. Our EST and LFT, so this one backward pass we use to calculate the LFT. Then the forward pass we use to calculate the ES what? The ESTs. Excellent. I will be another lesson. If you request for another lesson, I will try to demonstrate how we draw this one from scratch. I can draw this diagram from this information, but for now, to make the video short, I think I need to end here. Let's look at the question. State the activity in the critical path. Okay, I think this one, you can do this one. Okay, let's go and look at the question. They are saying activity. What I want you to do is to try and do the calculation for an activity that is in the critical path. It means the total float. Okay, the total float must be equal to 0. So please, can you try and answer this question and get A, C, D, F, and K. If you have a challenge, please send the message on the comment section. Then they're saying calculate the total float. Remember putting the formula. Total float is equal to what? Total float is equal to LFT minus duration of J minus EST of what? Of J. As simple as that. Then you do the rest of this paper. Benefits of network analysis. We're going to use as planning of when resources are needed. We use it as a planning tool when resources are needed, and how their use can save what? Time and money. Remember what we said. Sets targets to work towards. It's a way of setting targets. Construction of network diagram forces managers to plan project carefully. It forces managers to plan carefully. Identifies critical activity for management to focus on. So we can identify critical activity, like in this case, these are all critical what? Activities. So critical activities, the managers are supposed to focus mainly with critical activities. Okay, I think you can expand it better. Limitations will need to be supported by other techniques to manage resources effectively. It's not possible to just use critical path and they are good to go. Use other approaches. Then plan is only as good as the management behind it. Bad managers will produce bad results no matter how effective is the CPA. For completely new project, there may be considerable guesswork involved in estimating what? Duration. So we're saying these are the limitations in terms of estimations, all right? Then I want you to look at the analysis. So in the analysis, we are saying elements that the evaluation or judgment might depend on. It also depend on, does not guarantee that that project will be completed on what? On time. So it's a plan. It's not a guarantee that the project will be completed in what? 43 days. External influence on which UBH has no control can disrupt the opening of the new beehives. So we are looking at other factors that can actually affect, external factors can actually affect the opening of that. So I want you also to look into, if management of the project is poor, then even good CPA will not ensure success. It's obvious. I think this is an obvious thing that you can do. But last part, I want you to remember that UBA may only have control over some of the activities, such as G and H. Other activities may be controlled by subcontractors. When the activities are controlled by subcontractors, for example, activity D, it may be difficult to control those activities. Then it's the responsibility is not on us. So it becomes difficult. Even if we have a good CPA, subcontractors may let the company down. It may not be possible to redirect resources from non-critical activities in the event of delay. So we are saying we are using the free flows to redirect resources and reallocate resources from non-critical to critical activities. But at times, it might not make sense. Look at the situation, e.g., can't redirect labor from employee recruitment to building work and inspection. Some activities are not possible to redirect. I think that is that. And I think I have done justice to the question. And I hope you do well in your examination. Please go through this question paper, and I hope you will get better and better. This is Sejef checking out. For now, we meet in our next lesson.